Hello, folks. Richard Moore, USAGSA. I've got April Metcalf with me today from the Lowndes County, Mississippi area, an undisclosed location. And we do have a breaking story. And this is in regards to abject corruption and criminal behavior by the Sheriff of Lowndes County, Eddie Hawkins, and his deputies. And it not only pertains to the wrongfully incarcerated and wrongfully convicted YouTuber Rebecca Bumgardner that was given 24 mandatory years in the Mississippi State Penitentiary, been there for 2 years. And my little dog just turned on the music. Okay. And, but it pertains to a wider and much broader systemic culture of corruption within that sheriff's department and evidence tampering and obstruction of justice. And we're going to lay out a clear case right now. But before I jump into it, in the description of this video, we'll give a brief summary of what we're talking about here, as well as our link tree. In that link tree, that takes you to the various platforms that we're on, including my WordPress and Substack, where I blog, and I have written extensively about these corrupt programs, these corrupt government programs, its officials, their tactics, the who, what, when, where, and how. Also, I've covered stories of countless victims that many have been rendered voiceless. And you can get that mostly on Substack. Also, I encourage you to become a patron on Patreon if you like our content and you want to stand with USAGSA and support what we're doing. We're 100% supported by our listeners, viewers, and followers. Okay, and we need y'all's support, I'm telling you, because we are fighting and facing the monster of obstruction of justice funded by our tax dollars. And we intend for things to change, and I mean to change in a serious way. So, April, I want to start back, and we want to draw a timeline for these people. And after we do that, I want to talk about, because I've had other people contact me, and people that have made statements, will be giving statements, and we expect more of the same in this area here. So we're going back this particular time. Rebecca was pulled over. She was obviously targeted by law enforcement because of her activism and exposing these people. They didn't like it, and they wanted to put a stop to it. And for all practical purposes, they feel like they have. Up until here recently, I think they may realize that they may have a problem, and they've got more than a problem. How long ago was this when they stopped Rebecca and this recording that she made? What was this when she was? Is this two and a half years or?
It was August the 24th of 2022 when they stole her phone.
Yeah. Roughly 3 years. 3 years ago. She was pulled over. She was recording the stop.
Mm-hmm.
The footage that's been available is not from Rebecca's recording. This is from body cam footage that was subsequently FOIA'd and we have in our possession. Now, did they arrest her for? Failure to obey because she was talking? Was that the one?
She was, this time they charged her with failure to obey because she walked. They had my dad, who was a passenger. They had him at the front of the car, and Jeff Edmondson had told the deputy on the other side, at the driver's side, to remove Becky from the car.
Right.
And they had her at the back of the car.
And what problem cause was that? Well, there wasn't any. They just.
No, they don't. I don't think they had any. They were, at first they said that they were stopping her for a traffic violation.
Yeah.
And then
been there, done that, ladies and gentlemen.
She never got a traffic ticket.
Of course not. That's old as dirt, older than dirt, actually.
But she had walked to the front of the vehicle to be alongside my dad. I mean, she was not under arrest. So, I mean,
Right.
He walked to the front of the vehicle, and that's when they all clobbered her and said, "You're under arrest for failure to obey."
Okay. That's just trumped up stuff. So how long did she stay in jail?
I think she got out a few hours later.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, she got out the same day.
Did she have to make bond?
She did.
She did. Okay. But it never went to court or anything.
As far as I know.
Okay. Now, Rebecca has filed a lawsuit, has she not, about this particular arrest, or has she?
I don't think we filed a lawsuit on.
And I think you got for a Fourth Amendment violation. You're limited on that. In Mississippi, it's 2 years because the federal court system walks in stride with whatever the state mandates. And so if the state mandates it's 2 years, then the feds go along with that. If the state mandates 5 years, feds go along with that. I obviously don't agree with it. I don't understand that, especially when you're in the dirty South and they making rules up as they go. So here's the crux of what we're talking about, folks. And
where's my phone? You're back clear. Where's my phone? Where's my phone at? Come on, get in, man. Where's my phone at? Get in. Give me my phone. I got your phone. Give it to him. Get in. Give it to him. Give it to him. Give it to him. Try to delete it. And went straight. I'm under arrest for what? Really? Yup. Give me my phone. Don't take my phone. Give me my phone. Listen, I'm free. Lance, y'all can't tell me to go to the back of the car. Yes, we can. Hey, they need to be double locked.
In the video, and I'm going to put that. I'm going to put that snippet in here, and let everybody see the video. Okay. Now, Rebecca is saying and asking, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" And don't give my phone. Give my phone to somebody, her dad or somebody, and they didn't. One of the deputies says, "I have the phone," and that was the last time that phone was ever seen. Mm-hmm. Now, Rebecca, then after she got out of jail, she asked for her phone. They told her at the jail they didn't have it, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't have it, didn't know what she's talking about.
Right.
Imagine that. They playing plausible stupidity is what Lowndes County is operating on, and that's kind of rule of thumb with law enforcement in these neck of the woods. It's plausibility, plausible stupidity. I think that's in the Constitution. So so she didn't get it. That was a loss. When at some point in the game, Rebecca managed to go into her Google account and look for the footage that she took. And what do you know? It was gone. It was deleted, wasn't it? Deleted. It was deleted. Now, where did they do that at? So, who accessed that at that time and deleted that? Well, we're going to tell you that Lowndes County Sheriff's Department did. April was able to do a location. She had her location turned on, and that phone was pinged a couple of times. One time, this was over another highway over at a restaurant, and this is a known trough where they feed at over there. Lowndes County feeds over there. What's the name of that place?
The Ranch House.
They feed over at the Ranch House, okay? And then it pinged at a dumpster. Wow. Behind the ranch. Behind it. We don't know what all. Jeff Edmondson had it. So we don't know who Special Agent, the gonorrhea sting unit, Jeff Edmondson, had, or who he had on the hood of his truck back there behind that feedlot. But we know that the last resting place of that phone, after he deleted the footage, he killed the phone and threw it in the dumpster. Now, folks, that's a big statement, isn't it? Well, I can promise you, everything I'm telling you is a fact, and it's all documented with the records that are. It's the metadata is already there. It's there. Okay, there ain't no way. It was their body cam footage that's provided with Rebecca making those statements about her phone, them admitting to having the phone. Later, Lowndes County claims that they gave the phone to your dad. Y'all have the same dad. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so, but he there was nothing to be further from the truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't be further from the truth. And records from his phone, his cell phone records and towers will show clearly that he was not in the same place that phone was at the same time. It's two different places when that phone pinged. This is simple math, ladies and gentlemen. Now, am I right on this? Have I missed anything?
No, just the last clip that I sent you of the video of the Sting Unit arrest,
right.
The one that we were talking about on the phone, we did find the part where Lance Lucky was right before Mark puts Becky in his transport vehicle. Lance Lucky shows, points Becky's phone towards Mark's body cam where we can all see it and says, "Is this yours?" And then Jeff comes up from beside Lance and grabs the phone out of his hand instead of Lance being able to hand it to the transport officer and it go with Becky because it's her phone.
Right.
Jeff comes and takes it out of Lance Lucky's hand and heads.
Is this a different time?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So Lance Lucky was the last one was standing there with the phone whenever Becky's being put in the transport vehicle.
Right.
And you can see Jeff come up and take the phone out of Lance Lucky's hand and go yonder way with it.
You got that footage?
Uh-huh.
Okay, we got that footage.
It's all on the Sting Unit video.
How about that, folks? Now, this is their body cam footage? See? Now,
yeah, that's all we have.
Now, Lance Lucky, for those that don't know, was the town marshal over Caledonia and had a propensity of pulling over young high school girls and harassing them and stalking them and so forth. Until some parents pulled him up and gave him an ultimatum. And y'all can imagine what that ultimatum was. Not only that, he targeted Austin Hines. And this youngster was ultimately murdered. They said they'd kill him because he said some things that they didn't like in his music that is published on YouTube on his channel. And the part about fuck the police or something like that, they didn't like it. You got to take it down. They hate the First Amendment. They hate free speech. They claim they all for the Constitution, God and country and all this stuff. That's a lie. They hate God. They hate the Constitution. They hate the judicial process and all that. That's the face they put on for the general public. But the real face is what we're showing you. This is a stark reality. And this is not just an odd man out or a few bad apples my ass. This is a culture of corruption, a culture of abject corruption, folks. Y'all know it, and I know it. Anything past that is BS. Now, and then Lance Lucky had all these problems out in the big city of Caledonia, and they only want you can't go over 35 miles an hour through that place. You know that, April? They want you to slow down and don't miss anything. They ain't nothing to see because we get folks. Your indication of your heart of hearts makes you want to do one thing and floorboard to them and get through that godforsaken part of the country, knowing their history and knowing that even the leaders there in Caledonia have toyed around with putting Lance Lucky. He hangs out at that liquor store in Caledonia and grabbing on women and all that other stuff. And I've got video footage of that. Okay. But so guess who picks him up? Crooked Eddie Hawkins. And he's like a magnet for losers and magnet for criminals, magnet for perverts of all different flavors and everything. He has built a gaggle of them there in Lowndes County. And so he was involved in selling dope and prostitution with Max Branch, another officer. And but they claim that Lance had a proclivity nigger, it's hard to figure, and all this kind of stuff, saying that. And it was just really making them uncomfortable because he's not supposed to be saying that around other people that might repeat it. And so it's a really a high bar for somebody like Crooked Eddie to move somebody out of the picture. As far as Max Branch, Gonorrhea Max, he is working for the district attorney as an investigator. So buyer beware of what they got going on over there. I'm telling you, ain't nobody safe. Ain't nobody safe. What district is that? The 6th? Is that the
16th?
The 16th district of Mississippi. Okay. And you got none other than token Scott Cologne as the prosecutor. And I believe Biden appointed him to a bench, federal bench in the Northern District. Thank God that Cindy Hyde-Smith blocked that. And right. and he had backers like George Soros was backing him. Right here in the dirty South, folks. And we got monsters and enemies of the state like George Soros dabbling in that deal. But you know what? The people in the 16th district, I don't know what the deal. They must gravitate to corruption. I really don't understand. I can't understand it. Now, I have received statements. I'm going to talk about those. Now, we know, I want to talk about this known rat snitch working for Lowndes County of the name Michael Peeks, Peeks. Now, we've put him on blast, and he is a rat's rat. But he's still out there ratting and snitching. And not just ratting and snitching, folks. They got them doing all kinds of stuff. They creating crimes, breaking and entering, everything, and helping even cover up murder scenes. So, Michael Peeks, you knew him, you know him, and he was, how long ago? Maybe a couple of years ago or better. He was going to jail or something like that, and he told you to hold on to his cell phone.
Yeah, it was I can't even remember the name of that road. He was staying in somebody's trailer over there in Columbus, and
of course it was a trailer. Yeah,
I had went by there and seen him because I owed him some money, and the cops happened to show up, 2 at the front door, 2 at the back. It was 4 Lowndes County deputies, and they
just magically showed up.
Right. Well, and so they said
let me preface this, folks. April did have her fling with dope. That's something in the past. She's sober, been sober. Yeah. That's another life. So maybe that help you bring the right perspective. And if she was around Michael Peeks during that time, if she's on dope, he's on dope, still on dope.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he is anymore. I've heard that he's clean, and living a new life and stuff.
He might have took a bath, but that's it. Not what I heard.
So, well, I'm not on that scene anymore, so I don't really hear much. But I just know that back then we were all doing what we were doing, which was bad stuff. So anyway, the 4 deputies show up, 2 at the front door, 2 at the back door, and they were saying that they were there to serve a warrant on Michael. Mm-hmm. So we all were, told to get on the ground. Mark McGarity was one of the officers there too.
Oh, Lord.
And I don't know the other ones, but anyway, we were all told to get on the ground, and they rushed through the trailer. I was let go because they searched my purse and my personal cell phone. I didn't have anything on me. Yeah. And but anyway, so since I was getting let go, I was sitting right beside Michael, who was in cuffs, and a black guy named Julius Irvin, I think is what his name is.
Really? That's an original. Dr. J was there.
I think he's actually been on your list before. But anyway.
Sure it sounds familiar.
So apparently there was drugs there, and I don't know that, I think they found a little bit, and they found scales sitting on the table. But anyway, somebody was going to jail for that, and it wasn't going to be me because it wasn't mine. And I was like, y'all better man up to this. Because
hindsight was 2020, it would have been you. But no, if they knew then what they know now about the work you're doing to expose them, you probably would have got shot on the spot.
It was on a Sunday when this happened, and so the only narcotics officer on duty or even in town at that time, because Archie Williams was narcotics too at that time, and it was Archie Williams and Kevin Forrester, but Archie was on vacation, I think, and Kevin Forrester is the only one that showed up. Well, Mike was sitting beside me, and he asked Kevin if it was okay if I take his cell phone. He didn't want the cops getting a hold of his cell phone or something. Well, I didn't find out.
You took it.
I did. I took it.
And it went on home.
Yeah, and I got to go. But anyway, I didn't find out till, I guess, I don't know when he got out of jail, but he was wanting that phone back to turn in to law enforcement, and I didn't know why. He probably got. We know why. He got out earlier than expected, and they said, "Here is the deal, Bill." Well, I've only found out.
That girl get it back and give it to me. And Pete told you he wanted it back because Forrester wanted it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's because, well, I really don't know, but I just know that I've heard since then that Michael Peaks was in possession of videos that had Kristen Pierce, some people that were mixed up in the Ryan Taylor stuff. That's all I know.
They were still cleaning up the missing person, Ryan Taylor,
right?
Which has been over 2 years, and they murdered Ryan Taylor. And he was murdered. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And it either happened in the former home of Shelby Dowdle or in her vehicle. That Michael wasn't Michael Peaks. The other clown, I've named it, was driving it, wrecked it. And the granddaddy, the godfather, Mooney Dowdle, immediately had the car crushed and turned into a tuna can.
Right.
I mean, hasty. The lead point man investigating this deal, this missing person, murder, the main cleanup man, if you will, was Kevin Forrester.
Mm-hmm.
And, nothing has become of this yet. They've arrested people, but they charged them, but all that's gone by. One of the persons ended up murdered. And loose lips get you killed on this deal, folks. They've got them scared, and for good reason.
Hey, Richard.
Forrester gets this house, this custom-built house, from a man that his great-great-great-grandchildren never spend the money, but he took a $300,000 loss on it to let who? Kevin Forrester have it, and he moved into that house. He got it. I'm talking about he got a custom-built house at a house trailer price, and so far living happily ever after. And of course Max Branch was in on that cleanup deal. The sheriff in on that cleanup deal. Of course, Looney Dowdle and his attorney, his fixer, and Michael Peaks and some other people. What was you gonna say?
I was going to tell you, I don't know if you knew or not, but Kevin Forrester, back when he was just a peon, before he was even on narcotics, he was in the basement doing all their. He was in the sheriff's department basement, is what we call it, but he was their tech guy. And the reason why I know this is because when I was dating somebody that worked for the sheriff's department, they did an investigation on him, and they ended up pulling phone records from a phone of mine that was kept at that guy's house.
Who did the investigation?
The sheriff's department did an internal investigation on the person that I was dating.
Oh, okay.
Saying that they were trying to blame him and say that he was leaking information.
Right. They was going to stop
never
that.
Did.
I get it. Yeah.
Never did.
That's right. Gestapo.
But anyway, that was the reason. That was the reason for their investigation.
I got you. Now,
I don't want to say his name or nothing.
No, we won't say his name.
Yeah.
Unless it comes to a point we have to. So you heard that, fella. So you ain't safe.
Right.
Totally. And maybe we have to throw some more names that we're holding on to here. But for some of y'all that are holding this stuff close to the vest on these crimes, let me tell you, You can do it the hard way or the easy way because it's coming out. Okay.
Right.
Y'all are listening and looking at one that absolutely will do it. If you don't think I will, then obviously you don't know anything yet. You hold on to your horses on that. Now, I've got another statement, April, from an eyewitness that he was aware and seen it with his own eyes of Eddie Hawkins together with Kevin Forrester rounding up cell phones from individuals, demanding the cell phones, taking them and doing a factory data reset on them. And sometimes, in some cases, they never got their phones back. Some cases they gave them back to them, but they had been cleaned out. To have people that will take the stand on what I just said. Now, folks, let me tell you, you think this is some kind of loophole, and let me tell you, here's the deal. In this traffic stop, some type of bogus traffic violation, they had no probable cause, and there's not any extenuating circumstances that would have allowed them to seize her telephone and do what they did. Why did they do that? I'm going to tell you why they did. They were damn tired of her putting them on blast. And they was making a point. They've done it with me. They've done it with thousands, hundreds of that across this country. That's the kind of behavior that we're talking about, and we're damn tired of it, folks. Now, here's what we're dealing with this thing here, okay? This is for everybody to know. Federal laws that they broke. Of course, a Fourth Amendment violation, illegal search and seizure. And 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under the color of law. 18 U.S.C. 1519, tampering with evidence. 18 U.S.C. 1503, obstruction of justice. 42 U.S.C. 1983, of course, civil rights violation. And Mississippi Code 99-3-7, illegal arrest and detention. 97-9-55, tampering with evidence. 97-17-41, grand larceny, theft of property over $1,000. And 97-11-33, official misconduct. What are we asking for? Of course, we're asking for a federal investigation and of Sheriff Hawkins. And we know that he has been under and may still, they don't touch base with us, folks. But I will promise you that I made a statement a little over a month ago that it was official that he was, and that department was being investigated by the FBI. As far as you know, that's the deal, isn't it, April? Have you heard the same thing? Okay. Also, they need to do a forensic audit of confiscated phones to determine the evidence that has been deleted or tampered with. Subpoena the phone records and body cam footage, and of course, hold Sheriff Hawkins and involved deputies accountable through criminal prosecution if necessary. And I do believe that this is more than necessary. These are just some of the things that we're asking for. Now, there's several agencies that are going to be contacted. All that's in the works right now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give the Attorney General of Mississippi, Lynn Fitch, an opportunity to change her position on no law enforcement can do any wrong. And she refuses to prosecute sheriffs that systematically rape inmates, like Sheriff Eddie Scott in Clay County, Mississippi. New York Times covered it. Or Sheriff Grassery in Noxubee County. New York Times covered that. And they did. The feds finally charged him, and he was sentenced to the penitentiary, and he did 24 hours, folks. Man, that's up. And then Scott Cologne did a press conference and tried. I'm getting ate up by a badger here, folks. Y'all have to tried to take credit as we're going to do all that. And let me tell you, the token ain't done nothing, ain't going to do nothing. What the token will do is he will take a case that's completely bogus, manufactured, and meticulously set up by the sheriff's department, which he has worked with closely with those deputies and those and the sheriff on what he wants in a case, what he don't want in a case. One thing he does not want them knowing the law. Okay, that is a problem. The less they know about the law, according to Scott Cologne, the better off the case is. They don't need to be trying to be the judge and the jury out there. If you believe that it's wrong, then you arrest them, and we'll sort it all out through the system. Don't have to worry about anything because of what? Qualified immunity. Okay, and they're wearing that damn dog out. But let me tell you something. Qualified immunity, and this is for you criminals with badges. I want y'all to hear this good. Let me tell you, anything y'all do at this point or have done, because since we've been talking about this, with your phones and your records and trying to transfer and do and all this stuff, go ahead and do it. Oh, go ahead and do it. Because you're going to have you looking stupid. Mm-hmm. So, real stupid. And the best thing I can tell you is find you a lawyer that will maybe can try to mitigate your deal and talk you through it. But I'm going to tell you that too may be difficult because I don't know how many people want to get that deep in shit to help somebody that's that deep in it, and y'all deep in it.
Right.
Many of them been back in that play, and now what are they going to do? It's too big for them to brush it off. What I'm claiming and what I can prove right now. If we went to court today, I'm not an attorney, but I'll guarantee you what we can slam dunk on is there is a pattern, a widespread pattern. This is not isolated. Widespread corruption within that agency, within that county, and it even drips like gonorrhea over to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation.
Right.
I'll promise you that. And so this is a major deal here. This at some point in the game, folks, people have got to pay attention. We're going to make the fake media aware of this, okay? We're going to do a press release on this deal. And when that all is done, I'll come back on and let you know who all got it. And then we'll talk about who sat on it and did do nothing with it, okay? Right. I'm going to make that case on this right here. I'm going to make the case. It's WCBI and WTVA and the Commercial Dispatch and the Tupelo Daily Journal and more. Are they fake news puppets for corruption or not? We're going to make the case right here. And it starts today, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to be isolated. They think they've got this deal contained. It is not contained by any stretch of imagination. It is not contained. Everybody and his brother is going to get an official complaint and be put on notice about this. That Eddie Hawkins and his band of deplorables there in Lowndes County have a practice of taking telephones, or we could just say have a practice of tampering with evidence and obstruction of justice to contain their narrative to make it what they want it to be. That is not that is not conjecture. That is not a hypothesis. That is an unmitigated fact, ladies and gentlemen. That is what they're doing, and that is, by God, what we can prove that they're doing. It is not my job, nor is it April's job, to make the case. I'm not paid to get out here and investigate crimes and to make sure things like this don't happen. That is not, don't we pay taxes for that, April? Is that not what the clowns with the badges are supposed to be doing?
Right.
But folks, what are they doing? They making shit up as they go is what they're doing. Now, I could give a tinker's damn how much you like these individuals or don't like them. That has got nothing to do with it. I think that the day of this two-tiered system, this two-tiered justice system is coming to an end. Things are changing in Washington, and I'm telling you, folks, heads are rolling, and they're going to keep rolling. And if you think, well, that's just the swamp, honey, you've got another thing coming. The swamp is big, and it encroaches on every state in the union. So I'll promise you it stop there, okay? We're going to see how many of these clowns around here wear those MAGA hats here in about another 6 months. Okay, I'm going to ease this thing off. I didn't know he was going to be talking about what we're doing, because what we're doing is, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm going to tell you what, buddy, just hold your horses because it's coming. And we're going to make sure. I just got through sending a petition, a letter to the president and to Attorney General Bondi, and it's going to be more of the same, folks.
Right.
We're going to make sure everybody is aware of what they're doing. Not that we think they're doing this or any of that. This is what they're doing. Now, what happens here? I'm going to tell you what happens. The fact that Eddie Hawkins, the sheriff of Lowndes County, Mississippi, is a criminal, has committed more felonies than I can count. Anybody's thinking about going to the polls and voting for him as sheriff. And that's coming up in November, isn't it? Or when's it coming up?
Oh, I don't think we have it. It's not until 2027, I think.
Oh, no. They've done had people registered to run for sheriff.
Sherman went up there to register for it, and they told him you can't do it until next year. So
next year. Well, I'm having commercial dispatch said there's already 4 on the deal. I read that. Yeah. So, who knows?
Well, I just know that the next election is not until 2027. Okay. I don't know how early they want.
That's a long way away, folks. But I can tell you one thing.
We got him for a little while longer if we don't get rid of him.
There ain't no way in my mind that I can possibly conceive of anybody contemplating voting for that criminal clown. Okay? Not just him. There's more. He's not the only one. But, folks, it's clear. It's cut and dry. It's cut and damn dry. I mean, how many more people got to die and go to prison, okay? But everything that they've touched, here's what you got to realize, folks. Every person that has been wrongfully convicted. Now, I'm not talking about, I don't know what these people that took a plea bargain because they didn't have no choice, and they pled to something they didn't do, and that happens every day. These lawyers don't want to go to trial. They very few and won't take it to task. They just don't do it.
They work for the state. Why would they want to take it?
All officers of court, they work, and they all own the same team as far as I'm concerned. Okay? That's the deal.
Yeah.
And for those that think otherwise, obviously have not had any dealings with the system, okay? Any of the processes. If you have, then you know what I'm talking about. Now, these cases, especially Rebecca's case, and I fully anticipate on that being overturned. Not only that, I anticipate some criminal charges behind these people, okay? Because the more we get into this and the more we expose it, guess what? The more stuff keeps popping up. Now, my message is this. I know, April, that you hear things as well. You get information. And April is controlling, running, and managing Rebecca Bumgardner's channel, Lowndes County Accountability. That link's in the description as well. And she's working tirelessly to do legwork and stuff for Rebecca and her challenges and things she's got going on. And she does have some legal proceedings going on right now, not just an appeal, but other things involved in. It's just a flat out wrongful conviction. Okay, it was bogus. It was made up. It was orchestrated. That's the deal. All right. Now, attorneys look at it and say, well, they can't jump on it and go and file a civil rights violation against them on her behalf because she was found guilty. So that's would be too early in the game for something like that. This is a criminal case against the prosecution attorneys on both sides, the judge and members of of law enforcement, and their deal to squeal paid rat snitches. And we've talked about all those. So there's a lot of things at stake here. This is how big it is, and how far will they go to silence this and try to ignore this story and try to ignore this? They've gone pretty far, folks. They have absolutely gone pretty far. They've reached out, trust me, talking to law enforcement, and they're leaning on anybody that's leaning on this deal. And I'm one of them. So I'm telling you firsthand what they're doing. They're not liking it. And I could care less because all this is going to happen. We're going to make sure of that. Anything else going on? I want before the April is those people in Lowndes County. It's important that you share this content, not just Lowndes County, but in the 16 different across this state, across this nation. Share and share it relentlessly. There's people right now, they're watching this, that have firsthand knowledge of what I'm talking about with these phones and other things being confiscated.
Right.
Security footage, I've gotten that too. That they've come in and demanded hard drives and demanded phones and take it without warrant, without call, anything. Just give it to us.
Right.
I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. And you can, I'm easy to get in touch with. In the description is email address, USAGSA@duck.com. It's real easy. You send me an email and then we'll go from there and exchange contact information and we'll talk. And you'll remain completely anonymous. I'm not going to put you on black, none of that. I want to know what you've got. And because we want to make sure that the authorities get what they need. They're already getting what they need. They've already got more than what they need, to be honest with you, as it stands right now. Way more than what they need. But we want to make sure that takes place. So this is what, if we don't get anything out today, is folks, we need to hear from you.
All right.
Y'all know what's going on. There's been too many people victimized. And unless you stand up and say, hold it, they did the same thing to me. I've already got people doing that. They're giving me times and places. And one of these, April, happens to be a phone that was at Shelby Dowdle's home during the time Brian Taylor came up missing, was murdered, and that was cleaned up by law enforcement. It was taken, returned, wiped clean by Kevin Forster. That whole water, ladies and gentlemen. Why would he do that? Is if they got something hang up with these type phones and people have they got a thing with it, you know? I mean, there's no other way you can excuse this.
Right.
The criminal behavior. Okay? That's the bottom line. April, you got anything you want to add to this? I didn't let you say much.
No, that's okay. I don't have anything to add.
Next time we'll just get a picture of April up there and pretend like I won't let her talk. Like I do with Rebecca, but Rebecca's talking. And April has provided me with this body cam footage that I've shown you, and whatever other documents that I'm going to share right now and put it on there and put it on blast. So that's and folks, I encourage you, if you're not subscribed and had been subscribed to this channel, subscribe and share. But I also want you to jump over to Lowndes County Accountability and subscribe there. And she's not getting you got to get a nickel, are you? I mean, there's no money in this deal, folks.
We're not monetized.
Ain't no money for me. Ain't no money for her. Okay, if people think it's a money grab or some kind of clickbait bullshit we're running, no, It's not it. This is standing up as an American citizen, somebody that believes in God and country, somebody believes in due process and believes in that Constitution and respects the hundreds and thousands of men and women that died and bled out for us to have these freedoms, only to have criminals with badges that took oaths, that hate God, don't believe in, hate the Constitution, to violate them daily against the citizens. That's why I do what I do. And that's why people that support me like that. And y'all know who you are, and I appreciate you. God bless you for that. Also, I know there was one more thing I wanted to put in there. I guess it does matter. It does matter if those that see this, you share this content with your local, not with your local, your representatives, your congresspeople, and so forth. It's imperative, folks.
Richard, you're cutting out real bad.
I imagine I am. And their picture.
I don't know if it's me or you.
Well, I'm getting a full signal. Who knows? But I've just got a still picture of April. But you can still hear me, right? Can't hear me. So we may have lost her. So we'll give that credit to who? Who gets that credit? Let's give the Fusion Center this time, Dan Jackson.